finally be free to love you, to make dreams come true. We gotta start with our deep breath. I get so release the tears from your eyes. Love me. It's the only way to be, 'cause when we love me, we can finally be free to love you, to make dreams come true. We gotta start with our deep breath.
It's Regina Campbell here today. How are you all doing today? It's a wonderful day outside. I'm a lover of warm weather. I'll have summer any day over winter time. I hope you all are doing great. I'm coming to you all with another video. This one is going to be describing one of my quotes, or actually just interpreting, or I guess getting into the nitty-gritty, you may say, of one of the quotes that I have written. You can find it on Instagram at my alias Queenly Gina. So let's go ahead and get, pretty much says, we choose love and it's like we decide to put on our royalty. So first of all, I would pretty much like to get into what do I mean when I say royalty. Royalty, I believe, is something that we can decide to step into when we decide to make God Lord of our lives or King of our lives. Like I had mentioned before in my previous video, ladies are ordained princesses because they are created in the image of God. We are God's daughters. He created us. We are his children. But a lot of the times we don't accept that, or we don't believe in that or accept that because we don't believe that he is our father. So therefore, we don't see ourselves in that light. But when we accept him as our father, we are definitely princesses. What does it mean? I mean, when we're stepping into our royalty, well, God says that he knew you before you were born. And pretty much what that is he knows the best version of you. And that best version of you is very royal. God is love. So therefore, when we decide to choose love, when we decide to walk in love, we decide that we're going to walk closer and we're going to grow deeper and become more of the best version of ourselves. We become more royal. We become, we elevate ourselves to a very high standard. Love. What is love? Love is simple. We've made it so complicated nowadays, but love is very simple. It's something that we practice. It is a life change. Say, for instance, you're trying to make a life change in some bad habit or a habit you would like to. Losing weight requires a life change. It's not just dieting for a little bit, and it's not just exercising for a little bit. It has to be a whole mind shift. It has to be a whole different way of living your life. Therefore, love is the same thing. We decide to go ahead and have a shift in how we choose to live our life. Pretty much, we're going to be practicing what I call the fruits, or what the Bible calls the fruits of the Spirit. We're going to be practicing, patience. We're going to be practicing long suffering. We're going to be practicing self-control. All those things are practicing love. When we practice those things to another person, whether it be in our business lives, in our family life, or in a romantic relationship, we are practicing love to those people. We are showing love. Love is humble, it's not prideful, it's not easily angered. All those things are practicing love. And all those things reflect the character of God. So when we are practicing love, we are stepping into our royalty. We're putting on our crown. We're putting on that royal robe, however on fleek it may be. And we're saying, hey, I'm going to take the higher path. I am going to tell the world that I believe in love and I believe in royalty. In all transparency, I do want to relay or let you all know that at 14 years old, I lost my earthly father. I lost him to cancer. He was here one moment, it seemed, and the next moment he was gone. He was a very healthy individual, very active, and he lived a pretty healthy lifestyle. But he left. It's his time, his season here on earth, it was up. And I was young, my siblings even younger, and we were devastated. When he left, it left a void in our hearts, and it left us, it seemed, without guidance or without leadership. I was blessed to have a very loving earthly father who was there for me and who let me know that he loved me. I was blessed in that area. But what helped me cope was the fact, my belief that I believe that I will see him again one day. And also the belief that I have a heavenly Father who is the King of Kings, who is a being that is all-knowing, who knows the beginning from the end. He is my Father before my earthly father. He knew me before I was born, and he knows the plans that he has for me. He knew I would lose my earthly father, and he knows the joys and the sadnesses that I will continue as I go through life. But I know that he is there to lead me and to guide me, to strengthen me, and to love me much deeper, with much deeper understanding than any human being could ever love me. So I found a lot of comfort in that, knowing that I was God's princess as much as I was my dad's princess. You see, love is a choice. It's something that we choose to do on a day-to-day basis. Love takes energy. It doesn't just happen. It doesn't just surge from our emotions. Sure, sometimes it's easier to love someone at one time more so than it is at another time. Sometimes it's very difficult to show love, especially if it's someone we don't too much care for, or if it's just, I don't know, it's just someone we are having a disagreement with. It's hard to love. But it comes as a choice each day. Even if it's in a split second, we have a choice to take a higher path. We have a choice to pause for a second and be like, excuse me, let me get my crown and put it on, and to put on our cloak. It's a choice. It's a day-to-day choice. Every hour, every minute, ask for our patience. Ask for our long suffering, which means that we just have patience to endure over and over again in a situation that may be uncomfortable for us. It takes choosing to take a time out before we are quickly angered. That's love. And when we show love, people respond to that. They respect it. Even if they don't tell you, it's respected, because at that moment they know too that you took the higher route. And maybe, just maybe, it may encourage them to step into their royalty as well and to show love. We all know, or some of us may know, that Jesus loved us first, and that's the reason why we love him, is because we saw him and we see him as showing us love. Once we see him showing us love and we recognize it, it encourages and it inspires us to love, because we see his glory and we see his royalty. It takes a lot to have self-control. That is something that we really, really struggle with, all of us, on a day-to-day basis, because all of us are human and all of us have weaknesses. But God has an ocean of love for us to reach out to. It's his strength in times when we're having a hard time with self-control. All we have to do is we just reach out and we ask for it. and He'll help us. It may not happen just in one day, maybe not in a couple days or even a week, but as time goes on and we actually address our issues, it will get easier and easier to be in control of our situation. Realizing who you are and realizing you're a daughter of the King means that you have to practice love to yourself as well, not to other people. And it's the same thing. It's having patience with yourself, having long suffering with yourself, forgiving yourself, not being easily angered with yourself. It's you practicing God's love towards yourself. And when you do that, you feel royal inside and you feel more like a princess. You practice self-control. That's practicing love towards yourself. And you feel like you're wearing a crown. Royalty, I want to explain as well, is not a look. It is a spirit. It's not always what is on the outside. It is what's on the inside. Royalty is beauty. Beauty from us showing love. That's what royalty is. So you can be sick, you can be down and out, you can be poor and not have the best clothing that you desire to put on your back. But that does not exclude you from being royal. It does not exclude you from being a princess. It does not exclude you from being a daughter of the King of Kings. Regardless where you are, regardless who you are, regardless of your culture, regardless of your skin tone, you are a princess. You are an ordained princess by someone who created you and who knew you and who premeditated on who you would be before you were even created, before you were even born. That alone should give anyone encouragement and strength to love and to go further because they know who they are. No one should be able to tell you any different. Queenly, a lot of people may wonder why I use the alias Queenly Gina. Well, first of all, Regina means queenly or queen-like. My father gave me my name and it means a whole lot to me. So therefore I decided to use it. When I first started using my name as an alias, I didn't think too much about it. I just thought it was pretty cool that the two went together like that and that it was available on Instagram. Not a lot of people was pairing that up. But Regina does mean queenly. Now, you must understand that I do realize that I am not a queen. But on the other hand, I like my name because it makes me think that, I should be aspiring to be queen-like. Queen-like, like royalty, is the same thing. It pretty much is a mindset. It's something that you are, or I am, aspiring to be. And just because my name means Regina, it does not mean that other women whose name is not Regina, or Gina, or Eugenia, or Regine, it does not mean that you as well cannot aspire to be queenly. It just is that my name reminds me to be queen-like. I would like to encourage you all to try the King of Kings and see where that takes you. You may not believe, but at least believe in love. Do you believe in love? The King of Kings has an ocean of love for you. It may not be a love that you understand, but through time, you'll understand as you mature and you grow in love. and you'll realize that it is the best love that you will ever experience in your life. Therefore, you all, you have one of my quotes, pretty much talking about love and royalty. If there are one of the quotes that you see that you would like for me to describe in more detail, please feel free to perhaps comment below, and I will hopefully see it and be able to incorporate it in one of my videos. As far as that will be all for today, and I hope you all have a great rest of the day. Be blessed, and remember, love and royalty.
It's the only way to be, 'cause when we love me, we can finally be free to love you, to make dreams come true. We gotta start with our deep breath, hug yourself, release the tears from your eyes. Love me. It's the only way to be, 'cause when we love me, we can finally be free to love you, to make dreams come true. We gotta start with our deep breath, hug yourself, release the tears from your eyes. You are beautiful, you're perfectly suitable for goddess status. You're the baddest. You can do anything that you want to. You're the writer of your book. You are a fighter and the earth shook when you arrived, 'cause she was pumped. Through you she strived to get humanity over the hump of ego, greed, and anything that isn't love. And did I mention you are perfection and you are destined? This is a lesson. You are a blessing. You are made of stars. You come from near and far. Remember who you are. You are made of stars. You gotta love me. It's the only way to be, 'cause when we love me, we can finally be free to love you, to make dreams come true.